Hello everyone and welcome back to the New York Empoleon's Week 16 builder of the PAC Season 2. We're here this week taking on the Arbor Accelgors, coached by Jesse. And if you have not seen them before, go check them out. Links in the description below. This is the first time I've ever faced them, so that's really exciting. Always good to face new people. If you want to see anyone else in the PAC, go check their links out in the description below as well. If you're here on Twitch, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. And we're just going to get started. So, my opponent's team is Tornadus, Therian, Milotics, Skuntank, Necrozma, Diggersby, Volcanion, Barbaracle, Tangrowth, Audino, Clefairy, and Melmetal. And honestly, normally, when I make these, I'm like, wow, look at those top few mons. They're really, really scary. But I feel like this team has this weird trend where it gets scarier and scarier to me the further down it goes. Yeah, Torn and Milotics are great and scary. But then, like, Necrozma's scary, but it's not as scary as Diggersby, which maybe isn't even as scary as Barbaracle, which isn't as annoying as Clefairy. Like, it just keeps getting scarier and scarier the slower they get, but at the same time, slower means maybe I'll get a chance to hit them first. And one of the mons that might get a chance to hit something first this time in a shocking twist is my Mudsdale. This is just a standard Mudsdale Stealth Rock Earthquake Toxic set, but I do have Roar for something like Necrozma trying to set up on me, or Tornadus, or Barbaracle trying to play Shell Smash on me. Roar can get rid of those threats and just maybe give me a bit of breathing room to try to deal with them in the future. Toxic is really nice this week to wear down some of those more dangerous threats, and I would like to put up rocks, but I'm not guaranteeing they're going to be. This was like my 6th mon and barely made the cut only because everything else in my roster sucks. So I really like my other 5, and then there's this, which was super filler. Anyway, next up we have Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat this week is going to be Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, Overheat, and Thunderbolt with the heavy-duty boots. And Thunderbolt can give me a couple of special OHKOs that I couldn't get with Discharge during Calcs. So, like, I was literally leaving, I think, a Volcanion lives on 3%, Torn lived on 3% from Discharge, so I just went with Thunderbolt because I was like, you know what, let's get that extra 10% damage. The pair is nice, but at 30% is not a guarantee anyway. So let's just get that extra 10% damage and just try to do a bit of extra work with this Rotom. I really like its stab combination here. It's really good. I do have to play smart. My opponent can pivot around like Diggersby, Volcanion to try to get some like momentum and positioning on me, but I can try to predict those, go for Will-O-Wisps at the right times, hit the Diggersby on the switch-ins, or Volt Switching on the switch-outs to the Volcanion, things like that. Since I do outspeed a non-Scarf Diggersby, and I can go with like an Overheat, and if they do U-turn, just hit them. If they don't U-turn, or if they switch, get a sense maybe if it's Scarfed or not. Next up is the Tapu Fini, and this is going to be Surf, Calm Mind, Moonblast, Iron Defense. We're trying again. It may have got double crit last time, but we are trying once again in the mock. Only mock that I tried it with, it was going to sweep, and it got crit again. So that's good. That's a really good sign. We'll see what happens. I think this set has a chance to just do work, but it's not like a turn 1 setup and sweep. It's really a positioning myself into a place where this is going to set up and put in work, and then we can go from there. This thing is fast. Well, I don't know why I just like started the sentence with a B. This Pokemon is fast. I have a 236 speed in this, so I'm not actually as bulky as normal, which might come back to bite me a little bit. Things do a little bit more damage than they otherwise would, but there are some setup opportunities, so I'm hopeful that like against the Clefairy, against the Audino, or the maybe the Volcanion, depending on the set, I can get a chance to set up maybe a choiced Milotics, something like that. I can get a chance to set up something and start to go from there, because once I can get an Iron Defense up, I can start tanking some hits better, and then I can start Calm Minding a little bit. I could run Draining Kiss over Moonblast just to get that HP back, but I figured I wanted the damage output, because even one Calm Mind Moonblast is doing a ton of work, and I don't think I'm going to get a chance to set up like +6 or anything. It's just going to try to break in the end game, so one Calm Mind into Moonblast is way better than like 3 Calm Minds into Hope Draining Kiss does enough damage. Then the second half of this team gets funky. We start off with the Urshifu, which is Choice Scarf Urshi, which is not that funky by itself. It's close combat, Wicked Blow, Poison Jab, U-turn. Not that rare, not that surprising, just kind of a normal Urshifu. Does work. Clefairy's really the only switch into it, which I expect them to bring. Physically defensive Tangrowth can switch in, but it doesn't like taking a U-turn. Thankfully, both Tangrowth and Clefairy are weak to Poison Jab, so if I can get those predictions right, I can try to hit those. The problem is that lets in the Melmetal for free, which I definitely have to watch out for, because the Melmetal getting in for free means I'm in danger. That thing can do a ton of damage to me, so I do have to watch out for that. But the reason this is a weird set is because my next mod is a Choice Specs Crobat. That's right, we're rocking out with the first week. We finally bring Crobat to a matchup, and we're rocking Specs, no U-turn, nothing like that. Just straight up try to put damage places. You know, we'll see. I don't know how much this Crobat's going to do. I thought about going Scarf Crobat because I wanted to outspeed things like the Shell Smashed Barbaracle, Scarf Torn T and stuff, but we decided to just go Specs. Why not? It does damage. We're just going to put damage places and see what happens. And hopefully this does a little bit of breaking for the Tapu Fini in the late game. That became sort of my strategy later on. And my last Mon is another Choice Specs Mon in the Toxtricity. We are rocking out with both the Crobat and Toxtricity rocking Specs here. This thing does have Volt Switch, so that is going to be able to actually use momentum with its Choice Specs. But Choice Specs Boom Burst goes in against this roster, and so we're just going to try that out, see what happens. We are modest, which did mean a couple of speed calcs were sketchy as hell, but we are going to be rocking out with a ton of damage output. Things like Clefairy are forced out, and then just something takes a Boom Burst. They have no Ghost type, so just something takes a Boom Burst. And yeah, Melmetal can take a Boom Burst, but that thing doesn't really want to switch into 2 Overdrives. Tangrowth certainly doesn't want to take a Boom Burst. And if the situation rises where late in the game it's like Clefairy, Tangrowth left, I can just try to go for a Sludge Wave, maybe pick one off, do some big damage, or if my Specs gets knocked off by something like the Clefairy, Sludge Wave can finish it off, doing a little bit of extra damage. I really didn't have a 4th move I wanted. So that's what we're going to rock with. This is probably the matchup I feel the least confident in this entire season. I just don't think I had enough time to like really feel comfortable with these sets. So we're going to be rocking out with these sets and hope they do work. But if I fail to win, I'm not going to be overly surprised, but I would be disappointed in myself just because I think that I have these sets that can win here. It's just a matter of finding the openings that they need, and it is hard to find those, so hopefully we are able to take advantage and make things work. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys all back here tomorrow with that battle. Take care, everybody.